Yo, ladies and gentlemen, it's January 10th. That means it's my birthday. So big up to everybody in the comment section. Do me a favor, put a happy birthday in the comment section. Really do appreciate all the love and support you guys have been showing me. And I'll try to get to everybody's comments in a second. But before we go any further, this is not a happy video. I know I started off with a little bit of happiness, but you guys need to listen up because what's going on at Arsenal is extremely concerning. And I gotta break it down for you guys because there is a saga going on, a transfer saga that affects numerous clubs potentially, and there is a situation where Arsenal could be potentially short. Going into next summer, we could be losing 5 players and not adequately replacing all of them. And we could potentially get weaker coming out of this January transfer window. Yes, we could potentially be getting weaker coming out of this January transfer window. Now, before we go any further, I need to tell you guys a little bit about the transfer saga going on with Kvaratskhelia. In case you guys don't know, a madness is going on right now with Kvaratskhelia. So Napoli have told everybody across Europe that they're willing to sell the Napoli forward Kvaratskhelia for 80 million euros. That is 67 million pounds. That is relatively cheap for a player of his quality, an elite attacking player who can come into that any front three and bolster that attack to another level. Now, PSG are the team that seriously want to negotiate with him and have already started negotiations. And PSG are one of the main teams. But guess what? Liverpool have now thrown their hat in the ring. Liverpool Football Club, yes, the same Liverpool who's top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League, has Mo Salah, has Luis Diaz firing. They now want to add another guy to that team. Yeah, the same Liverpool who need a defender and need a left back are going to go and get one of the best left wingers in the world. How many attackers do these guys even need? It's really frustrating, but it gets even more interesting because now you got Chelsea right there. You can see Chelsea, the perennial hijackers, Chelsea, are also in the mix for Kvaratskhelia. Now, the reason why this is interesting, with 3 clubs interested in the player, depending on who gets the player, things could get extremely interesting. Because if Liverpool get Kvaratskhelia, now PSG are going to have to find an alternative, and Chelsea are going to have to find an alternative. But if PSG get Kvaratskhelia, now PSG could potentially have some of their players that they might be looking to get rid of. Yes, PSG, if they get Kvaratskhelia, they could find a way. You could find a way where PSG are now going to want to get rid of some of their players. Yeah, PSG could potentially then be looking to offload some of their attackers, and now Chelsea could be looking at Barcola, or you could even see a situation where Chelsea could be looking, PSG could be looking to get rid of a couple more of their attackers. Now, PSG, they're hoarding attackers. They have a lot of left wingers and good attackers in their team. So if they were to add Kvaratskhelia, Chelsea, Arsenal, even Man United will be looking at potentially reaching out to them and going for the youngster Barcola. Now, there is a report that Arsenal are one of those clubs. Yes, so this goes full circle. So it doesn't look like Arsenal are going to go for Kvaratskhelia, but Arsenal, in the case that Barcola is available, it could be a situation where Kvaratskhelia joins PSG and Arsenal go for Bradley Barcola. This is PSG's top attacking player right now this season. If I show you guys what he's doing, this is what Barcola is doing this season for PSG in the league. That is, he has 10 goals, 2 assists, predominantly playing as a left winger, and he's their top goal scorer, and they're currently top of the league, if I'm not mistaken. So you currently have a situation where PSG's top goal scorer could potentially be available for a transfer in the January window. Now, how likely is that? I would say relatively unlikely that they let him go, but there is a possibility that this whole transfer saga could happen. Now, we've already heard that Arsenal are looking for attacking depth. Arsenal are looking for young players, and this is another player that Arsenal would be potentially looking to go and get. But the issue that I have right now with Arsenal, by the way, Arsenal are looking to bring players in, but while we're doing that, we've gotten rid of some players. Some of those players are useless, like Marquinhos going to Brazil. We already heard about Marquinhos going to Brazil, so you can forget about Marquinhos right now. That he's not going to be part of our team. We already know about Kvaratskhelia. He's not going to be joining Arsenal. He's potentially going to be joining PSG. And people are talking about Alexander Isak. Now, Alexander Isak's going to cost over £100 million. That is not going to happen. Apparently, Arsenal will not be able to afford the British record Alexander Isak this summer. That's reported from Craig Hope, but this doesn't make sense. Also, he mentions the fact that Jesus, Zinchenko, and Thomas Partey are in line to go. Okay. Jesus, Zinchenko, and Thomas Partey are in line to go. This is where I'm starting to have problems. So I understand Zinchenko, Jesus, sure, Partey, okay. Now this is where the problem lies. Jorginho has also been rumored to wanting to leave in January, literally right now. Just earlier, a couple hours ago. Let's see if I can find the tweet. Where is it? There was a tweet somewhere. Here it is. So the tweet is from Brazil, ESPN Brazil, saying that Jorginho is offered to Palmeiras and is interested in leaving Arsenal before the end of his contract. So he could potentially be leaving Arsenal now in January to join a Brazilian team. Now, do you understand how big of an issue that is? Because Jorginho is literally one of our six, I repeat, one of our six midfielders that we have. Without Jorginho, we are down to 5 midfielders, and one of the 5 midfielders is Ethan. So we technically will have 4 first-team midfielders to our disposal for now to the end of the season. Are we crazy? What on earth are we doing? There is no way in hell you can let Jorginho, Partey, or any of these guys leave in January without bringing in a replacement. Simple. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. And then on top of that, it gets even worse. So we're going to let Jorginho leave. We're going to let Partey leave. We're going to need to bring in at least 2 midfielders in the summer. Then on top of that, we're reportedly going to let Jesus leave. Marquinhos is already gone. Raheem Sterling is not an Arsenal player. And it gets even funnier. Leandro Trossard? What did I tell you guys about Leandro Trossard in my last video? What did I tell you guys about Leandro Trossard in my last video if you guys were paying attention? Leandro Trossard himself rejected a contract. Arsenal could be in crisis this summer. While we're thinking we're getting better and better and better, quickly we're losing all of our depth and we're being left with the core players and nothing else. Trossard could be potentially rejecting an offer and could be on his way out also. So that will leave us with a situation where we are going to need to have a replacement for Jesus, Trossard, and Sterling, right? So we're going to need to sign 3 attackers potentially. We're going to need to sign 2 midfielders potentially with Partey and Jorginho leaving. And don't forget, our defense might be sorted. Yes, our defense is sorted, but Tierney's going to leave on a free. Zinchenko is potentially going to get transferred out. And we're going to potentially have Tomiyasu always injured. And Kivior is probably looking to be sold also. Quickly, the Arsenal team that we have at our disposal could be a shell of its former self. We need heavy investment. And we need investment as soon as possible. Because this is very worrying signs. Very worrying signs. I'm not a negative person, but I don't see us getting better next season at this rate. We look like we're going to lose more depth, lose more quality. And I just don't think we have enough to replace all those players. I'm extremely worried about the future of Arsenal Football Club. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to create fear-mongering, but it's just the reality of the situation. What are we going to do? We don't seem to have a succession plan for the 2 midfielders that are leaving and the 3 attackers that are leaving. Really and truly, if we can bring in 2 quality attackers, maybe we can definitely manage. But what on earth are we gonna do? I'll leave it there. We need the Cronkies to invest. Heavy investment is needed. Heavy investment is needed because Arsenal are at crossroad. Forget about a title race next season if we don't go and heavily invest in back this team. It's not about backing Arteta anymore. It's about just not being negligent with the squad building. Simple. But yeah, I'll leave you guys there. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Love for the love, people. Thank you for the birthday wishes, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It's not the best one, but it's the honest truth.